Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. There, Rock and Roll Spock coming at you with the X-Men portion of the weekly comic book roundup. So, this week, actually, the X-Men was the majority, or well, had the largest batch, I should say. But as the majority, they were just edged out of the majority by all the others. But yeah, still. The one group weekend with the most books was the X-Men. So, let's get started with X-Force number 6. Where we left off, X-Force had just discovered that it had been Strife who had been supplying the people of Transia with arms from the future. We had also learned a bit about how Kid Cable came to the present. Alright, so the issue opens up in East Transia 6 weeks ago. Ahab and his 3 hounds arrive. He sends one of them off to find a source of transportation. However, a member of the local military shoots the hound. And Commandant Constantine has come. This is basically bringing them in for trespassing on Transian land. Cut to 2,000 years in the future. Strife's forces are trying to figure out what happened. Oh, Strife's forces have been embroiled in a temporal storm, but now it's gone, and so they're trying to figure out what happened. Their Zero unit is able to follow a signature belonging to Nathan Dayspring, or Cable. And they find his safe house, along with temporal or chronal transportation devices, and yeah. Strife then confides in Kessel that in his henchman Kessel that maybe he's basically confides his insecurities, and then tells him never to speak of it again. So they go to the past. They end up in the Transian Federal House 4 weeks previously, or previous to now, or to the now portion of the book. And turns out that Strife is supplying them with weaponry and technology in exchange for mutants. Turns out that he gives us rousing speech about how he's going to take them to someplace where mutants aren't discriminated against by the majority. Of course, he also discovers that they have Rachel Summers imprisoned. And Strife takes Rachel and the other hound. Anyway, Constantine then goes to ask Ahab about the hounds. And he also explains that they're gone. In the future, the Drax mutants taken from Transia to the New Canaan Night headquarters are not doing too well. And it's decided that they're going to be sent to a remote area and then killed along the way. Meanwhile, the two surviving hounds are used against the Clan Chosen, and then to lead Strife and company to the Clan Chosen, which they do. And cut to now, where The New Canaanites are facing off with X-Force. And Strife reveals to Cable that he's got the Clan Chosen held prisoner. And unless Cable surrenders himself to Strife, they'll all die, along with X-Force. So, Cable surrenders. So, where is that going to lead things? Gotta say, Brisson is definitely doing a very good job with X-Force. I'm definitely digging the book. Moving on, though, to X-23, number 11. Where we left off, Gabby and Laura had just taken on an army of partial clones of themselves. And one of them, in fact, sacrificed herself to kill the rest. So, the issue is narrated largely as a letter that X-23 would want to write to Honey Badger, but she straight says she will not. Now, they're starting to have a bit of a falling out. I hate those 2-page Savage Avengers ads. I really do. They hack into the database of a company called Harvest, which attracts the guards. Bit of a fight breaks out. They manage to take the guards down without fatalities. But Lawrence they leave. They've got the information they need. Gabby, however, wants to figure out what's there. There's something else. There's more to what's going on. But as she's picked up a scent, apparently it smelled like the soldier. It smelled like them. After the mission, the two of them have an argument. And Gabby's mad that Laura decided that they were all no more clones without asking what Gabby thought. And Laura explains, they're stopping more clones from suffering the way Zelda suffered, the way the ex-assassins suffered. But mainly what it is that the one they had freed had changed, and Gabby thinks that her and Laura should help that one have become better. And so Gabby leaves. Though she takes Jonathan the Wolverine with her. And things don't. Laura's not entirely liking the idea of being alone in their apartment. Alright, moving on to Dead Man Logan number 6. Really dig that cover. Alrighty. Where we left off, Logan, Forge, Hawkeye, Jubilee had seemingly stopped Neo Hydra and even more seemingly killed Mysterio. Though, to be fair, Mysterio actually had not. Mysterio escaped. And it was just kind of like, okay. And went back to a retirement home where he just decided to sit down and chill out. And just chill out. So, yeah. So, we open up San Francisco. Logan comes to talk to Captain America, who's there undercover. They talk a bit, and it's basically, the basic gist of it is Logan wants to apologize to Steve, as Mysterio had manipulated Logan to fight the Avengers. Of course, Captain America's Captain America. He's just like, hey, don't worry, we get it. We were told what happened. It's all good. Anyway, as he's walking away, though, Logan picks up a cent. Cut to Vancouver, British Columbia. A woman enters her apartment and then draws a sword and finds Logan sitting on her couch drinking a beer. Turns out it's Mariko Yashida, formerly Wolverine's fiance, who he, killed when she was poisoned. However, she was brought back by the Hand, and he managed to break the Hand's control over her. So, yeah. Anyway, he has some pictures of the woman who ends up becoming his wife in the Wastelands. And he basically says, hey, look, got some money put aside. I just want someone to keep an eye on her, make sure she's okay. And, that's that. So, he leaves. Once again, there's something's picking up. He just says, he says to whoever is with that scent that he knows they're there, he knows he's being followed. And he says, I'm going to go to a bar, down next to Buzzard, grab us a beer at 10. And if you really want to do this, see you there. So he goes to the bar, orders a couple of beers, explains that, he's got someone waiting on him. Wolverine shows up. The modern day Wolverine. Young Wolverine. So the two of them talk a bit. Basically, just returned from the dead Logan wants to make sure that old man Logan isn't a clone or a life model decoy or Mystique running some kind of long con. They both smell right to each other. And since they both smell right to each other, so they talk a bit. Younger Logan asks older Logan about, what the future's like, though old man Logan's kind of, he's like, no. Which younger Logan gets it. That bad. So, but old man Logan gives younger Logan some advice. One, go back to the X-Men. And, even when you find someone, when he gets older and you find someone you care about so deeply you're willing to die for him, when you think you want to settle down, be careful and never stop fighting. Once you stop fighting, once you turn your back on who you really are, once you put those claws away and stop fighting for the things you care about, that's when you lose it all. Anyway, a bar brawl breaks out, and younger Logan says, hey, speaking of fighting, you want? And so, yeah, they get involved in the bar brawl. Next morning, at Forge's lab. Hawkeye, Herman, Forge, and Jubilee are all there, as well as Cecilia Reyes, all to wish Logan goodbye. Send him back, as Forge to send him back to the wastelands. Glob, of course, tries to get him to stick around, but and so also Hawkeye, says that Old Man Logan's easier to get along with than younger Wolverine. So he goes through, and then Forge destroys the portal, as he said he would. He's in the wasteland. He looks out and sees things how he knows them to be. So it looks like the remaining half of this is going to be all in the wastelands, probably in all honesty leading up to Old Man Logan's death. Anyways, moving on to Age of X-Men, Marvelous X-Men number 3. So where we left off, after we met the Extracts, Apocalypse and the Extracts, some of the X-Men are starting to have doubts, and they're starting to have strange memories. Memories that can't be real. So we begin 6 hours from now. There's a storm. In the center of that storm, Magneto and Storm are talking. So, rewind back to now. Freeport, Bahamas, they're stopping a superstorm, doing what they can. We get some narration from Storm who explains that, it's not the easiest thing to do to just stop a storm. It's part of why she does it, to stop all destructive storms. So the X-Men save the day and they head back home. And they see more. Apparently, there's television coverage of Apocalypse and the Extracts, who are going against all societal norms and having relationships. Including the father-son relationship between Apocalypse and his son and Genesis. Nightcrawler explains that COX won't allow him to be a part of something political. So he's got to be very careful about what he does with the rest of the X-Men. Colossus, in his free time, draws a picture of a woman he met, one of the Extracts, Kitty Pryde. Somehow he knows the name, but he doesn't know why he knows it. X-23 had a flash of memory where her and Wolverine were training together. There's a massive hole in Magneto's wall that he put there himself. But yeah, so meanwhile, in Earth orbit, X-Man is meditating. So Magneto puts a big old metal slab over the hole in his wall, and then Storm comes along. They talk briefly about the memories they had, and they fly off. They fly off to where the storm's brewing, and they begin to talk about everything they've seen, and these memories they're beginning to have. However, while they're talking, um, X-Man, having had fits some psychic turbulence, excuse me, he comes down to retrieve them. They're going to Denver. They're going outside of Denver where something's happened in the Rocky Mountains. Apparently it's the Phoenix Force. And now Magneto's having more. Magneto and Storm are both having memories. The next one reveals that he knows everything that they were talking about. He heard it all. And yeah, he basically sends them back, and was kind of saying to himself that they. Now they'll wake up tomorrow morning with remember nothing, feel nothing. And also has it. He's read their minds. They still see him as a time lost, brash, headstrong kid in a leather jacket. We end with a quote from Sartre. Hell is other people. Alrighty. Moving on to Apocalypse and the Extracts. Where we left off, Apocalypse had sent a handful of his troops down out to Russia to pick up a mutant who apparently can kill. There's some appears to have a death aura. We learn that the mutant in question is none other than Omega Red. So we open up seeing when Unveil and Apocalypse rescuing Kitty Pryde from jail, and then taking the child who will become Genesis as well. Fast forward to now, at the Gilded Tomb Gallery and Studio, Kitty's also having flashes of memory. Right? Her and Apocalypse talk, and they found a menorah, and they pray some and light the menorah. Meanwhile, in Kazakhstan, Genesis has infiltrated the area to find out what he can. Excuse me. Find out what he can about the mutant. He explains to Eye-Boy, Dazzler, and Unveil that it seems like Department X is making moves out here. They're including someone called the Siberian. Anyway, so the group shows up, and I don't recognize really any of them. So, yeah. They also replay the meeting of the Extracts and the X-Men from Marvel's X-Men #2. And it turns out that Genesis, who was apparently there during the rally, was actually was an illusion created by Apocalypse. Back in Kazakhstan, the Extracts start duking it out with their with the security forces. And eventually, it does take a little bit of work, they do eventually win. In part because Omega Red drains the life force from all of the government forces and leaves a note. Note saying, that translates to, these men and women attempted to hunt me. They wanted to make me subservient to their regime. I will not allow the X-Men to separate us, for the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and I will bring death to all who support this regime. Everyone in this country, in this world, I am your friend, Omega Red. When I kill for you. And that's the issue. Alrighty. That's it for the X-Men books for the week. Next up we'll have Avengers and Spider-Man. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification icon to be, or the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon are subscribes down below. And this is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.